You will never be good enough for the wrong job, or the wrong boss, or the wrong environment that doesn't value you, promote you, support you, or even value your contributions. I'm going to give you 10 reasons why this happens, okay? My name is Dr. Celia McIntosh. If you're new here, I'm a duly certified nurse practitioner. I've been in healthcare for over 20 years, nurse practitioner for 13. I have my own business, McIntosh Advocacy and Consulting, and we focus on all things workplace, the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? I help you navigate bullying, burnout, backstabbing, and bullshit. So let's get into it. When we talk about the workplace, right, and why you will never be good enough for the wrong job, the number one reason is because they continually move the goalposts. It constantly moves. When you're in the wrong job, success is not stable. You're constantly trying to meet expectations, and the expectations keep shifting. You know, they actually don't praise you, they minimize you. So when whatever recognition that you earn, it becomes barely bare minimum. This creates a cycle where you're always working toward validation. Okay, and that validation often never arrives. And you're not being developed. You're just kept in this pursuit. It's like a cat and mouse game. Okay, so number one is the goalpost keeps moving. Number two is that the competency becomes threat. Your confidence, your competency becomes a threat to them. Instead of you being celebrated, your skills expose their leadership authority. You notice when your ideas are dismissed, your work is second guessed, and your autonomy is slowly stripped away, right? This issue that you're having, you're doing too little. This issue isn't that you're doing too little. It's that you're doing too well in a system that values control over competency, right? Number three, feedback is intentionally unclear. They have a lot of vague policies. They give you a lot of vague feedback. And like, for example, they'll say, well, you need to, be more strategic. Your skills and your styles need to be better adjusted. You need to have more executive presence. But they never really give you any real feedback, actionable feedback that you can take. Okay? The other piece to this is that the standards are selectively enforced. They have standards, but they hold people accountable differently to different standards, right? So for you, the rules exist. But like I said, if one person misses a deadline, that's not okay for you, right? If shrinking to survive, right? You notice yourself is changing. This is why what you know at this moment that you're in the wrong job. You start shrinking to survive. You have to soften your language. You have to watch your tone. You have to constantly edit yourself, because if you show up in a manner that someone doesn't resonate with, doesn't like, has a complaint about, then it becomes problematic and your livelihood could be affected. So you're constantly second guessing yourself, and then you may end up having imposter syndrome, right? Not because you lack confidence, but because the environment punishes your clarity. They punish your directness. They punish you because they see you as a leader. This is what chronic misalignment does. It teaches capable people to make themselves smaller. You want to shrink to be in that space. It's like you're trying to conform so you don't ruffle any feathers. And number 10 is you're exhausted in ways that rest can't fix. You're mentally exhausted from the mental gymnastics that you have to deal with every single day when you walk into this environment. You're constantly hypervigilant because you don't know what's going to happen in the environment today, what your boss is going to act like, what your coworkers are going to say, what kind of shenanigans they're going to do and say today. You're constantly code switching or having to, like I said, edit yourself for everybody else to be comfortable. Okay. Emotional labor. It's a lot of emotional labor. You know, it's one thing to be, even when you think about coworkers or individuals that are introverted, imagine being introverted and then having to kind of like exhaust yourself to be in a space when you're got a lot of extroverts around. So if you're an introverted person, you work with a lot of extroverts, imagine how much energy that takes from you. You feel like you're being depleted every day. But then also add the fact that your job is exhausting. You're having this emotional toll. You're being pulled in multiple different directions. Your creativity is being stagnated. You know, you're constantly trying to deal with the mental gymnastics in the workplace. You're constantly having to shrink yourself. Add that to everything else that could be going on. So those were my 10 points of why the wrong job will never be good enough for you, or you will never be good enough for the wrong job. Let me back that up. So those were my 10 points on why you will never be good enough for the wrong job. Okay? You can't outperform the wrong job. You can't outperform the wrong boss. You can't outperform an environment that doesn't celebrate you, doesn't respect you, doesn't appreciate your creativity, does not want to promote you, and they don't want to see you. Okay? Thank you.